Injustice makes him boil, evil makes him burn, and then Danny Ketch becomes the Ghost Rider. Flameglow Ghost Rider, blaze and vengeance, ride in the name of justice. With whip chains, hidden projectiles, and with flaming discs and a ghost fire gun, they destroy scum like Zarathos and Skinner. If evil makes you burn, ride with new Flameglow Ghost Rider, defender of the innocent. Cycles come with figures, other figures sold separately.
Greetings, foolish mortals, and welcome back to a Halloween edition of Throwback Thursdays. Excuse me, not sure what was going on there, but at any rate, we are on number 17? I lost track. I'll have it right in the title, I guess, but today we are taking a look at the Toy Biz Ghost Rider Spirits of Vengeance. Well, Vengeance himself with his glow-in-the-dark Hellcycle. That's right. Got another figure from this line. I looked at the Ghost Rider, the Danny Ketch figure with his bike a long time ago. A few months now at least. So we're finally getting around to Vengeance. I've actually had the URL shot for this video for quite some time, so it's about time I bust this one out. And since it is the week of all things spooky, scary skeletons. Okay, maybe not that third one, but you know what I mean. What better time to do it than now? And this guy also has a glow-in-the-dark feature that we're going to take a look at before we wrap things up with some final thoughts. So, getting into the meat and taters of this guy. Pull him off the bike here. We're going to look at the bike first, and then we'll look at him after. But, yeah, it's Vengeance's bike, you know, pretty decent. I will say his feet don't tab into these that well, especially since one of mine is a little bit off. It's a little warped, so, you know, take that for what you will. And the stickers aren't perfect. They're close, but, you know, they're stickers. It happens. A little dab of glue will fix it if you really need to. This one's actually kind of off center on mine. Or one of them was, I thought. Maybe that was on the Danny Ketch bike. I think it's right here. It's a little off, but either way, it's a fun little toy. It rolls around, glows in the dark. We'll look at that in a moment. And then it's got this tail whipping action, I guess. I mean, I don't know if that's enough power to knock a figure over, but knock yourself out, as they say. See what I did there? It's got a glow-in-the-dark button, too, so you can see it in the dark. Sweet. It's accommodated for me to play with it, because I have night blindness. But then in the front here, you got this missile, which is kind of funny. It's shaped almost like a headlight, but then you got this sitting over it. And it would have been nice if this could go in all the way, so this could fold all the way down. It could be like kind of a sneak attack thing, but whatever. You shoot it out. It's a big old, well, quite frankly, phallic-shaped missile. Then you can close that, and you have his bike, how it traditionally looks. But I leave the missile in there for safekeeping. So there you go. Looks good. It's got a kickstand as well. Folds down. Yeah, there you go. That's Vengeance's bike. Pretty simple. I like the kind of rib cage stuff going on here. And, of course, the glow-in-the-dark flames are always a nice touch. Again, we'll look at those a little bit later. Now, on to Vengeance himself. Vengeance, shout out to my buddy Vampire, actually, is one of his favorite characters from the Marvel Universe, which rightfully so. He looks awesome. Right down to the crazy ribcage bursting out of his chest. I mean, that's metal AF, if I do say so myself. And it glows in the dark on this version. The standard release, it does not. And I don't have that out for comparison, unfortunately. But we will take a look at the solo the only Marvel Legends offering for this character a little bit later as well. But yeah, this figure's cool, man. And he doesn't have a lot of that tackiness that some Toy Biz figures have after a while. But articulation on this guy, you can rotate his head around. He only has the 2 flame pieces. Unlike the Ghost Rider, he doesn't have any flames sculpted to his head. Which is probably for the better, because it kind of looks a little bit nicer aesthetically. His shoulders do move up and down. They do get a little bit stuck, but I think that's due to his crazy thingamadingies here. These are very kind of in the way, although on this side it's not so bad, so I think it might just be some flashing in the joint. And then he's got a single joint at the elbow. He's got a swivel at the wrist, because remember, these guys are a little bit more articulated than the standard Toy Biz figure. And then he's got the ball hips, or the ball hinge hips, so they move forward and back, in and out. He's got a single joint at the knee, which works pretty well. And he's got some peg holes on his feet, so you can attach him to the bike. But as far as an action feature on this guy goes, he's got this little button on his back, which I think is smaller than the standard release. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you press it and his ribcage will open and close. Now, granted, you're going to want to shift this belt down a little bit. So you can get to that a little easier. But as you can see here, his ribs open and close like a claw. Beware the claw! But yeah, it's really cool. But, yeah, this is another solid entry into the Ghost Rider line. I do say so myself. And the funny thing about this guy at his hips, he's got a little bit more range. They go in a little bit more, which is probably for the better, because that's how I typically have him on the bike, because his feet don't necessarily peg into the tabs all that well. Woo! A little tricky to stand. You got to find that sweet spot, because his legs are kind of pre-posed to be out quite a bit, like that. But you can find that spot pretty easy. It's a lot easier to stand than some things I've reviewed on the channel lately. But there you go. There's Vengeance and his flame cycle. So with that being said, let's take a look at some comparisons. First up, here is the old Toy Biz, 90s Toy Biz Vengeance, next to the only other figure I've taken a look at from this line, of the Danny Ketch Ghost Rider. And much like him, I didn't mention this during the Meat and Taters part of this review, but this Vengeance is a very odd variant. He has that kind of dark blue, light gray paint scheme going on, as opposed to his traditional colors, which you can buy in the main line without the bike. So something interesting to note there. And then we also got the only Marvel Legends offering for this character. This is from, I want to say, Wave 15 of the Toy Biz Marvel Legends series, Legendary Riders, I think was the name of the wave. It also had, I think, Hulkbuster. Was it Hulkbuster? And Taskmaster, and I want to say Hawkeye were also in that wave. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there were some oddball characters in that wave. Oh, the Days of Future Past Wolverine was also in this wave, so yeah, I think it's about time we got an update of this guy. This figure holds up pretty well, but his eyes aren't painted, which has always been something odd about that figure. Next up, for a bit of a bike comparison, here is the old Toy Biz Vengeance's bike next to the, again, only Marvel Legends offering Vengeance's bike, as well as Danny Ketch's bike from the same line. And just something to point out on my Marvel Legends Vengeance's bike, his rear wheel is on backwards, so I'm going to need to replace that, because, well, I tried taking some screws out, and it doesn't come apart that way, so hopefully I'll find a cheap-ish replacement somewhere down the line, but we'll see. But as you can see, the old Vengeance's bike is a lot smaller than this one here, which is more of like a chopper, or this one's like more compressed, closed in. And then the Danny Ketch bike stands a little bit taller than it, so I feel like maybe this is undersized a bit. It's a little bit too small for this Vengeance figure. It maybe should have been a little bigger, but they're probably working with certain budget restraints. That probably why it is how it is, but, you know, not everything is perfect, and for being a little bit out of scale, I think, question mark, this came out pretty good. It's a pretty solid little toy, if I do say so myself. And last but certainly not least, we have our two regulars, the Mythic Legions of Brother Mandibulus and the MK11 Spawn. So with that being said, let's take a look at that glow-in-the-dark feature before we wrap things up. Some final thoughts. And as promised, before we wrap things up with some final thoughts, we're going to take a look-see at the glow-in-the-dark features of this guy. And I'm currently working out some kinks with this. Kind of like to do it a little earlier in the video, so maybe next time we'll try that instead, because that's typically when I do like extra stuff on figures. So I figured I'd throw it in now just because, well, I already said in the other part, so might as well own up to my promises. But shining the light on him there. This is part of the video where I ask you guys if you've seen any good movies lately, because we're going to be here for a little bit. Just got to shine that light on him. Hopefully it comes out. Ah, there you go. You can see him pretty good, actually. Going like a champ. Let's try the front of the bike here. Again, this is the nifty iPhone light, so hopefully get a little more in there. Yeah, look at that. Not too shabby. Let's get him one last time. Excuse me. I don't know why I got that stuck in my head. It's Halloween time. What should it be instead? Oh, I got one. Or alright. Music time is over. Glow. Yeah, there we go. Glowing like a champ. Granted, the URL is a lot better because I did all kinds of photo tweaks to it, but that wasn't too shabby. You at least got to see it. So, with that being said, let us now wrap things up. Some final thoughts. Overall, and if you're a huge Ghost Rider fan like yours truly, this is an obvious pickup for you because, well, unfortunately, there's not a lot of options when it comes to this character. Like I said before, we've only gotten the basic figure from this line, the jumbo 10-inch figure from this line. I think there was a Ripcord cycle, and then the one lone Toy Biz Marvel Legends figure, which has a bike I need to replace because the back wheel is on backwards. So, yeah, Hasbro, buddy, please give us some more Ghost Rider characters in the near to distant future, please. But with that being said, this is a really nice addition to that old 90s Toy Biz Ghost Rider line. It's a fun line. You gotta love some glow-in-the-dark action, right? So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And if you are so inclined, please hit that notification bell so you know whenever I upload more reviews like this one, because we gotta show that algorithm who's boss, right? Also, if you're interested, hit me up on Instagram at Overlord Productions, but please keep the comments civil, because the world sucks enough as it is. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.